Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll explain you about EKS private cluster. Uh, I already explained you like how we can create a cluster and access it with public internet through public internet. But now today we'll create one cluster which will be in completely private and so let's see, I already created VPC subnets and all those things I already created. If you are not aware like how we can create a VPC and subnets, then you can go through my VPC video. There I have explained both the ways like how we can create that VPC. So here we'll be just creating one cluster. So let's say I'm just giving this as this is for demo, that name I am giving as this is for demo. Then cluster version you can select, then role you need to create, and then you need to select, then cluster access. So currently I am giving API as well as config access, both I am giving. Then encryption, if you want to provide an encryption with Kubernetes secret using KMS keys, then you can enable this. And if you want to give any tag, means you can add. I'm not adding as of now. And then that VPC I have created as project VPC. As this is private cluster, means I'll be removing public subnets. And then security group I'll be selecting as default security group. And then here I want that endpoints to be in a private subnets, only through accessible through privately from that VPC. Then I can click on next, and we need to select like whether we need to enable Prometheus for this cluster. So as this is just for a demo, so I'm not enabling anything. Otherwise, if you are setting up for production, means you can enable all these logging so that it will help you to troubleshoot all your issues. And then any add-ons, if you want to add, means you can add it. For now I'm just adding EKS pod identity agent. Apart from that, all are by default. Then you can see that version, whatever version we have selected, and if you want to update that, you can update. And then you can click on next, and you will be able to see an overview of what all things you have selected. Then you can say create. Now what will happen is like this will create a cluster in this environment. So once this cluster is created, then we will try to add nodes to it. So that nodes also will be not creating public IP or attaching public IP to those nodes. We'll be directly creating those nodes in private subnet, and then we'll be attaching it to cluster. So all that thing will happen privately. But let me give you an overview like what all things we are having in our VPC by the time this cluster is creating, because this will take some time uh, to uh, to get this status from creating to running. Or now I'll go to that VPC. I'll explain you what all resources we have used for this cluster. So basically, private cluster you can create in two ways. One is like you can create subnets, private subnet and public subnet. I hope you already aware the difference between private and public subnet. So once private and public subnet is created, then what you will be doing is either you need to create an endpoints to connect to cluster endpoints, or else API server to connect to that API server, or else what you need to do is you need to just add that NAT gateway in your private cluster and have that NAT gateway in your public subnet, so that that API or that cluster endpoints are accessible for your nodes. If you are using that endpoints, mean then you need to create endpoints for everything whatever your pod needs, like S3 monitoring or all those things. For that you need to create an endpoints. So let's say For now, like what I did is I just created one VPC name as this project VPC. You have already seen this VPC I have selected in this cluster as well while creating a cluster. If you will go to that networking means you will be able to see this is that VPC and these two subnets we have selected. So here if you will go to that subnets of this VPC, I have just filtered out this VPC, and if you will see we are having four subnets, two public and two private subnets. So we have used private subnets in our cluster, as you can see that private subnet, that subnet ID is 6E and then 56, right? So if you will see 6E and 56, so these two subnets we have used. And then what we did is like we have created route tables as well. So I have created this VPC auto generate VPC. If you want to know like how we can create manually and configure all those things by ourselves, then you can refer my VPC video. For now, I am just giving you an overview. So these are our route tables, and then we are having one internet gateway that is already attached to our VPC. That is that project hyphen VPC, and then we are having one NAT gateway as we are not using endpoint. So I have created one NAT gateway, and this is attached to one of our public subnet. So you can see that subnet ID here. So this is already you will be able to see that public one subnet. So this is where this subnet, this NAT gateway is attached, and then we have updated our route table for private subnets to route our request through that NAT gateway. So if you will see that see, this is that NAT gateway we are routing our traffic, you can see. And for our public subnets, if you will see, for public subnets we will be using that internet gateway. So yeah, so here you can see this route table is attached to our these subnets, project subnet public 1 and 2, and you can see that route we are doing a routing, like target is this one, destination is this one, and this is active. So we are routing traffic through internet gateway. So that is how we have configured our public and private subnet. I hope you got all the understanding like how we'll be getting all these details. And if you want to go really deep on this VPC, then you can go through my VPC video. Let's check like if that cluster is created or still it is creating. So still this cluster is getting created, so we need to wait for some times. Once this cluster is created means then we will look for then we will try to add nodes to this cluster. So basically what it will do is like when we will try to add our nodes means it will automatically create those nodes in our private subnet. Means it will create a VM. VM means EC2 instance in this VPC only, and this will be our VPC, and that subnets on which it will create those EC2 instances, private one subnet and then this private two subnets. Into these two subnets it will create our nodes is nothing but that EC2 instance. Those EC2 instance is configured in such a way like all the agents, everything will get installed into it, whatever we have given while creating this cluster, right? So we have given multiple details while creating this cluster, like these all things we need in our cluster. Then if you will see we are having that Fargate profile as well. So this Fargate instance is nothing but these are like AWS managed infrastructure which will get attached to our cluster if we'll be using Fargate. This Fargate I have explained in ECS as well, and if you are not aware of Fargate then you can go through my ECS video. There you will get more understanding. Then if you will go to that resource tab, means here you will be seeing like all that resources which are running in our this Kubernetes cluster. As of now, you are not seeing anything because still this cluster is getting created. So once this cluster is created, means then we'll be seeing all these details. Hmm. So private cluster means like you will be connect to that cluster master node only from your VPC, means you need to create some sort of connectivity from your VPC to that cluster master node. So either you will need to create one virtual machine there and connect from there, or something you need to add there so that you are able to connect from that machine to this cluster master node. So still this cluster is getting created, so we will need to wait for some more time. Let's let this cluster status be ready, then we will try to add all these things. By the time I'll explain you all those things, what all things we are having. So API server endpoint will be getting here, then certificate authority that will be getting it here in this level, then IAM and role will whatever you have attached here you will be getting here in this part. And then that if anything, if any health you have any cluster health you have configured, means all those details you will be getting it here. That KMS key, if you remember, we didn't enable, that is the reason why you are seeing it off. If you are enabling that, means then you will be getting this enabled and you will be getting your KMS key ID. Then in resources I already explained you, it will have all the details like what all pods, then replica set, deployments, all those things, whatever resources we'll be creating in our Kubernetes cluster, all those things we will be able to see in this management console as well. And then like in management console, we'll be able to see everything, whatever is running in our cluster. So under resources, you will be able to see this compute is nothing but from this compute, we will be able to add our nodes. Nodes is nothing but EC2 instances or Fargate. Fargate is nothing but that infrastructure managed by Azure, although we will be not able to see that particular instance running in our cluster in our subscription, but still this will be running by AWS in our behalf, and it will get charged to our in our account only. And then under networking you will be seeing like that VPC detail, then subnet details, then if you want to add any cluster security group, that also you will be, if you can, if you have added on that creation of this cluster, then you can see that security group here. And then add-ons means I already to explain you about these add-ons, like we were getting some options if we want to add anything to our cluster. So some things are like by defaults, like this one we have added Amazon EKS pod identity agent, this we can select or not. Apart from other add-ons we were getting by default. Then that access means we can restrict all these access, we can set it up IAM access entities here in this here in this table. Then that access configuration you already seen there, like we have configured as API and config map, then pod identity association, all those things. Like if we want to make any additional security to our cluster, then we can just enable it from this access. Then this Prometheus we didn't enable because this is just for the demo purpose. So that is the reason why I didn't enable this Prometheus matrix from where we can monitor our infrastructure health and all those things. So for now I have not enabled, but if required you can enable in your cluster. I already told you for production one you can enable. Then this upgrade insights, so you will be able to see that logs and all the things here. Then that update history means if anything you are updating in your cluster, then those that history you will be able to see here in this page. So like let's say if you want to changing your cluster from public private to public or public private, then anything you are updating in your cluster means all those things will get logged here under this history page, so that every if there is anything means we will be able to see in this history page. So like I think it took long time to make to get this status as active, but now you can see our cluster is active, and we can add one node. So node is nothing, and I already told you it will be an EC2 instance. So I am just saying node, private node, and IAM role you need to select. So I have already created one IAM role. You can just create one IAM role and select it from here. And any template you are having and you want to use it or configure it, then you can do that. Any labels you want to add, any times or tolerance you want to add, that you can add it. And any tag you want to give it, that you can give it here in this line. So here I am giving kubernetes.io and cluster, and I am giving my cluster name. So this is for demo. And value I am giving as, then I am going to next. Then here we need to select like what type of machine we need to. As I told you, it will create EC2 instance in a backend. Like once you will give all this configuration here, so you need to give that EC2 details configuration. So I am just giving that minimal detail, and I don't want many nodes here. So I just want one, and minimum also should be one. That maximum can go up to two. And node group update, like how you want to update all those things also you can give it one, or in percentile if you want to update. So for now I'm just keeping it the default one only. That subnet you can see by default only two subnets are selected, those are private subnets. And if you want to access those, try to connect to that node, try to do SSH or connect to that node and see what all things are happening, then you can configure that remote access to nodes. Else you can do next, and these all things we have given that summary you can see, and then you can click on create. So as you can see, I already gave that details for creating these nodes. So this we are inside that node group, where we have asked this node group to create nodes. So no, once this node is available means you will be able to see under nodes. Then health issues, if there is any means you will be able to see it here. Kubernetes level, like whatever level you are configuring, that you will be able to see here. Any config you want to update, the updated config you will be able to see here. Then the stands, I already told you that update history. If anything you have updated in this node group, then that history you will be able to see here, and tags you will be able to see here. So this is all about that nodes and the node description, whatever details we are providing. For now, like you can see under compute, we already created this node group, and this status is still creating. And if you will go to that EC2 instance, sorry, EC2 management console, so you will see like it will automatically bring it up one EC2 instance. I am not having any EC2 instance running in this subscription, but if you will see, as we already gave command in that Kubernetes cluster, so it will automatically create this. So you can see this T3 medium, all these things we are getting from that particular Kubernetes cluster. So you can see security group, that security group is also from that place only, and everything you will get that same. So if you will see that VPC details also, you will find like that same VPC whatever we have configured for this project VPC, and that subnet also is private. Two subnets, one of the subnet which we have configured in our Kubernetes cluster. And then yeah, so you can see like this EC2 instance is running. So once this EC2 instance is running, everything is configured in this EC2 instance, then it will automatically get attached to our Kubernetes cluster. As of now, this status check is still initializing, so that is the reason why you are seeing this status as creating. Once this is that this EC2 instance is up and running and attached to this Kubernetes cluster, then you will be able to see a node under this nodes table. And then like now if you will go to this resources, you will be able to see like now we are having this core DNS, all these pods are running by default. So these pods are like from that cluster itself, we didn't start it. So these are like the default settings which we will be getting in our Kubernetes cluster, like that internal DNS, this we called as core DNS. Then this agent, if you remember, we have added one more add-on in our cluster. So that all things you are seeing here under this. Then this kube proxy for that networking purpose in this Kubernetes cluster. So now as we our cluster is already uh, this cluster is already created, so all these replica set pods, all those things we are able to see here. And now if you will go to this, yeah, so let's wait for some time. Let this node group get created. Once this is created means then we'll be able to see okay. So now you can see this node group has been created, it is active, and you can see this is up and running, this is ready. It means this is ready to serve to this cluster. Now if you will see all those things, these things are created. And if you will go to the deployments as well, you will be able to see 2 counts and 2 are ready, 0 are failing. So it means these deployments are already up and running. So we are successfully able to create this Kubernetes cluster, and we are successfully able to attach that nodes to it. So you can see all the daemon set are running in our cluster now. No one is failing, everything is ready. You can see that green signal. So this is how you can create your private cluster. So I already told you, either you need to use that uh, you need to use either that NAT gateway, or else you need to uh, use that endpoints, and then you need to create a private cluster. To connect to this cluster, you either need to create that EC2 instance in your public subnets and connect to that public subnet, and then from that public VM you can connect to that private VM which you will be creating here, and then from there you can connect, or directly from there you can connect to the cluster. So that's how you will be connecting to the cluster and doing all the stuff. From that public internet you won't be able to directly connect to the cluster, as it is completely private, and there is that API or that cluster endpoints are not accessible from outside the VPC which we have attached to that cluster. Yeah, so that's all for this video. If you are doing this demo means, don't forget to remove all these things because this will charge you a lot in this AWS. So make sure you are removing all these resources from AWS for that minimal charges. So thanks for watching this video, and please send me a messages or comment on my video if you have any doubts. I'll try to help you out. Thank you so much.